What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Everyday Real Talk with me, Michelle. And I hope everybody's doing well out there today. I'm actually excited to get this episode started today. Because today I want to explore relationships. What has confused a lot of people about relationships is that we've been taught to believe that relationships are supposed to be loud, chaotic, drama filled, right? And if it doesn't, it's really not love. Like, that's the way someone proves their love to you. They fight for it. If it's not a struggle, the love must not be deep enough. But like I said, we've been quietly taught to believe these things by being influenced by songs we hear, movies we see, things we watch on television. They constantly implant this thought into our minds about relationships. And we've also been influenced by our environment and what we grew up seeing. But what if love wasn't meant to be these things at all? What if we actually didn't believe we had to experience these things in order to experience real love? So let's get into it, right? So I was listening to the radio the other day in the car as I was driving from the store, and an old song came on by Betty Wright called After the Pain. And I was actually listening to the lyrics of this song. And may she rest in peace, Betty Wright. She was very entertaining, not to take anything away from her. But I was listening to this song and I'm like, some of the lyrics just really struck me hard because I'm like, this is what we were actually listening to and being taught to believe growing up, singing along with it. And, with it being implanted into our heads and maybe not even realizing it at the time. But some of the lyrics that stood out to me were when she said, it's better to have, like, life has taught her that it's better to have a little piece of man than no man at all. And also, don't blame Mr. Charlie because Mr. Charlie is just a man and he's doing the best he can. It's like, okay, so we really want our girls that are coming up to be women to think this way about men. Like, it's okay. You need to take whatever that man does because if you want a man, you're gonna have to deal with those things, and it's better than having no man. It's better than being single because who wants to be single, right? And not only that song, I think about other songs that has also taught us that it's okay to behave in certain ways, or we have to do these things to prove our love to somebody in order to get them to love us or in order for the relationship to work. And I thought about Monica's song, So Gone. I love her too. And also one of my favorite songs by one of my favorite artists, Beyonce, is Ring the Alarm. And I love that song. But she's telling us what all she's gonna do if this man leaves her. And we have a tendency to just feel like once we're in a relationship, we're not going anywhere. So I'm gonna fight for you, and that's gonna prove my love, and that's gonna help us stay together. Because somebody got to do it. Somebody got to fight for this love that we have. Not only songs, we see it in shows. These basically all these reality shows. You can pick one, and you can actually just see yourself, like Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, where women are constantly accepting these certain behaviors from men, but they're seeing all the red flags, but they feel like I'm gonna fight for my marriage. This is just something that you have to go through. People are gonna attack your marriage, but we ain't gonna break up, as if to prove a point not only to the public, but to show that what we have is real. This love is real and can't nobody break it up. I also thought about the movie, The Notebook, which is like has been portrayed to us as like one of the greatest love stories ever. But my daughter, my oldest daughter, actually, She loved that movie, and I never watched it, and she would always, "You need to watch it, you need to watch it, it's so good." Probably about 5 years ago, I decided to watch this movie, and as I was watching it, I really it didn't I didn't see it being the greatest love story ever. I saw a lot of conflict, I saw struggle, and especially in one of the most famous scenes when it's raining and they're arguing and there's yelling and crying going on, and right after, it's like they fall right back into this passionate scene again. Just repetitive cycles that kept happening. And to me, that was showing how conflict is supposed to equal love. And if there's no conflict there, the love must not be that deep. That's what I get out of that. And it was just a lot of triggers for me. Um, Not saying it was a bad movie or anything because I'm trying not to judge. That's a thing. I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression because I want you to make up your own ideas about things and not just go by what I say. So I invite you to look at it. If you haven't looked at it, check it out yourself and see what you get out of it. But that's what I saw. And these things can actually be normalized by us because we see them so much. And that's the only way we've been taught that love goes. Like that's the way love should go. Shout out to Janet Jackson. That's my girl too. And in my instance, growing up, I saw love as argumentative, fighting. I didn't see the side of love like kissing or talking things out. And that played an influence on how I perceive love to be. And I was left to figure things out on my own by watching other people or by watching these shows or listening to songs. And then, if anything, I knew what I wanted love not to look like for me, right? But I didn't know what love should look like. So I basically pretty much went on what I knew I wasn't going to accept, which was the fighting, number one. I knew that I would always stand up for myself no matter what, and just not letting anybody run over me. That was a big thing for me, not letting anybody take advantage of me. Not only that, I was taught by my mom, don't ever let a man know how much you care about them. Don't let them know you love them because they'll take advantage of you. And she didn't know any better because she grew up seeing it. It's been a pattern in our family, really. It's a cycle that just reoccurred throughout our family that I know of with that type of thing with love, or just even feeling like you couldn't be the only woman. You had to share your man with somebody. And especially if he was a good man. Now, that wasn't me because whenever I found out somebody was cheating on me or had been dishonest or deceptive with me, it was over. Really, there was no coming back from that with me. That was one of my things too, and I'm happy I stood by that. Now, if we got understanding, that's what we're gonna do. That's fine. But if I'm being honest with you, you need to be honest with me. But anyway, so yeah, so we are influenced by those things, and therefore it gives us a different perspective of how love should look. Um, like love should equal conflict. Love should equal drama. Love is hard. Love is suffering. And if it doesn't have those things, it's not love. I don't want to leave out all these TV shows, like by I'm gonna say one of the most influential um writers, producers, because he does it all. He does all of it. He does everything himself. You know what I'm talking about. That's pretty much dominating TV right now. You can't put on a station channel anything without seeing one of his shows on. And all of the shows, to me, if it has anything to do with women, it's a struggle involved. There are a few movies that I like, but when it's got to be redundant, repetitive, I'm like, there's something wrong here. And I don't want any part of that. Because whether you know it or not, what you look at, you begin to take that energy on, you begin to rationalize and normalize that type of behavior. And before you know it, you're embodying that. and you're bringing that type of energy to yourself. You get to wondering why you can all of a sudden relate to these type of movies or experiences that you're watching on TV. It's because you're now drawing that energy into you and you're finding yourself in these types of relationships. But to some things, though, it's like love is something that you have to fight for at all costs. And we start to associate love with all the highs and the lows, just all of the intense behavior. So when we do have relationships and love feels calm and steady, we start to question it like something's off or why don't I feel the butterflies? And we look for issues because we want that drama. And when you're not used to love feeling like that, it feels off. It feels like I don't want that. This is boring. But in actuality, what you're actually associating as chemistry with someone is what you've been taught to think that love is. It's not chemistry. So your nervous system has to destabilize that feeling that you've been used to. When you had to work for love, prove love, all of those things, the calmness feels unfamiliar and uncomfortable. Not because it isn't love, but because that feeling is unfamiliar to you and what you're used to feeling. Because calm love doesn't give you anxiety. It doesn't make you question where you stand with someone. It doesn't have you waiting for like the next pin to drop, like, wonder what's going to happen next. Or that person must be up to something because they too quiet. Or just have you all on pins and needles suspecting something all the time. So, like I said, healthy love, it doesn't trigger anxiety or spike your nervous system. It's calming, it's soothing. And the thing we don't talk about enough is like peace in relationships. In peaceful relationships, you have consistency. You have both partners showing up for each other, both partners showing commitment. It's emotional safety, which means that you feel you can share things with your person and feel safe doing it. You actually feel good and safe being vulnerable with that person without thinking that it'll be used against you or used to hurt you in some kind of way. You feel a sense of calmness, like you're in a place that you want to be. You're not regulating your emotions or anything. And this is a big one. It's not having to prove your worth to anybody. Neither person should have to do that because you should know your worth and and the person you're with should also already know your worth when they're with you. So there's nothing to prove. That way you're not performing. You're not constantly trying to one up somebody or doing things to let that person see you're the best choice or they can't find better anywhere else. You're the prize and you should know you're the prize, right? And that person should know that as well. It shouldn't have to be performance in their relationship in order for anybody to know that this is real love. It should just feel peaceful, and peaceful is not lacking passion. Peace means both parties are being present, and presence is powerful because being present is going to give you these things. It's going to help you to see things as they are and not as you fantasize them to be or have been taught they should be, would be a better word. Because you start to compare when you're not present. You're going to compare it to what you've seen. And for many of us, like relearning what safety feels like, it seems strange at first because that's not what we're used to. And it's hard to do if healing hasn't happened. So we have to heal the parts of us that feels like we're not enough or we don't deserve love or this is the best that we can do in order for us to attract a new energy of what we want. You can't just go rushing into the next relationship and you feel the same way you did before about how love should look. If you want a better experience with love. You have to heal first. You have to, like I said, look at yourself, go inside yourself and fix those things. And sometimes even that can feel uncomfortable because we don't like to sit with the emotions of being alone and looking at ourselves to bring up painful things in the past that we've experienced, that we have buried. And we just want to keep covering up and get past and go on to the next. And a lot of times we do this by jumping into other relationships as a distraction. But sometimes, whether you know it or not, the deepest love that we can experience will actually feel quiet. And I can actually use myself as an example for that, as not being used to that type of quiet love. And when I first started to experience it, and being so used to coming out of chaotic situations in the past, and when nothing was going on, it was like I had to cause some type of disruption or drama. And sometimes when things were peaceful and quiet, it was like I could go a while, everything would be good. But at some point, I would have to bring something up to cause some type of drama or something. And that was just with me not being used to having calmness, quiet, and peace in a relationship. I felt like it had to be something going on in order for love to be shown or in order to prove that he cared about me. And I can remember him saying to me sometimes that, Michelle, why you always gotta cause, why did you feel like it gotta be some type of drama going on? Why you can't just let things be smooth? And I never understood that because to me, I felt like I wasn't causing anything. And to me, it was things that were relevant that needed to be brought up. But, and it was around times where things, we could be on with some months without even having arguments or anything. But it was just my nervous system not being regulated to that type of behavior and didn't know how to respond to that. I wasn't used to the calmness and to the peace. And so with me going through this journey now, like I always say, things add up and you get to reflect back and see things and patterns of things and why they happen like that. But it taught me that love doesn't have to be loud for it to be deep. I've also learned that love doesn't have to be chaotic to be passionate, and it doesn't have to hurt to be real. And also that you're allowed to feel and experience a type of love that is steady and calm without all the drama, chaos, and struggle that you have been conditioned and taught that love should look like. So, in closing, I want to give you guys some reflection questions like I always do. I want you to write down, reflect on them, and sit with them for a minute, and then answer them as honestly as you can. Okay, so the first question I have is, have you ever confused intensity with connection? The second one is, does calm feel uncomfortable to me? And if so, why? And the last question is, what does emotional safety feel like in my body? And remember, there are no right or wrong answers to the questions. These are just for you. So, guys, that's it for this episode of Everyday Real Talk with me. And I appreciate you guys coming back to watch and join me in this discussion. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and hit the notification button so you'll know when I upload new episodes, and also subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time.